jump over and we'll do a little Q&A. Answer your questions to the best of my abilities, and we'll go from there. And I see the usual suspects are here. Thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it. Very nice. Chris says, the first time is always the hardest. And Chris is 100% right. I got to tell you, I was talking to some friends on Thursday. We were at the smokehouse, and one of my friends, Diego, he got in 20. I talked about this yesterday. He got in 2021, and he's telling me like just how exuberant he was. But now that we saw these big, huge capitulation events and things are going sideways a little bit, he's like, this doesn't really concern me. This doesn't really bother me. It's just how it is. And I'm like, yes, that is it. So the first time is the toughest, but once you get through that, it's pretty damn easy. You just stick around. It's like the army. All you got to do is show up in the right uniform and you get promoted. Look at me. Anyhow, let's see. Theo says, hey, how about Fetch AI and Ocean and Ajax or Singularity? I think they all merged for this new ASI token. As I understand it, Coinbase did not support that swap. Tangem did, and a bunch of other different centralized exchanges did. But from what I understand, you have like a year to swap that out. So if I come to the realization that I need to take a deeper look at it, I still have Fetch on Coinbase, and I'd like to move it over to the new coin. And once I figure that out, I will. But it's a year to go. You can, if you want to, you could sell it, but some people don't like to do that. Not a bad idea, especially if you're dealing with taxes. Mart Hart, that's a good name. Rob, if you're holding long term, do you have to occasionally update your wallet, or can you let it sit in the drawer for years? Ledger is, I haven't updated that in like a year, something like that, a year and a half. And then this is why I like Tangem. This is why Tangem is my favorite. It's because there's no updates. I mean, there's updates in the app if you want to like move things around and stuff, but the actual wallet itself, you can just leave it just like it is, and that's it. So yeah, there's no firmware updates like with Ledger. But it's been over a year and my Ledger seems to work fine. So, but reach out to Ledger just to make sure. Oh, Don says, dude, pay attention. Bitcoin below the most moving average is clear indication the top has been in. The bear market is in, and there's nothing you can do to change it. Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe that's it. It'd be kind of weird as far as like moving average. Yes, you can make a case for that, but as far as like MVRBZ score and the 12 multiple and high cycle tops and things like that, I just doesn't really say that. Now, are we in a bear market? Well, let's take a look at what the indication is, or the actual description of the bear market. A bear market by Investopedia is when there's a 20% drop from highs. Okay, so we know that's true because I think we just took a look at CoinGo Live and it said specifically that Bitcoin is 23% down from its all-time highs. Gotcha. And the next thing is market sentiment. Market sentiment is mostly negative, and we can say that it's true because it's in the fear. It's almost an extreme fear. And the third thing would be that the actual economy itself is faltering, and you can make a case for that, but all the numbers are a little bit misconstrued. So to say that we're not in a bearish or a bear market, I think is incorrect. I think we're in a bear or bearish market, but we'll see if it comes back. But I also will remind you, between April of 2021 to November of 2021, did you know that we had a 50% drop in Bitcoin back then? Now we have to take a look at the moving averages as well, just to see if that actually is, but that's not too bad. To wait from April to November to hit an all-time high plus another 5, 6, 7%. So yeah, it depends. But to say, Don, that this is the bear market and we're never going to go up, come on. I don't think that'd be true. Let's see. Rob, what made Filecoin pumps on 2021? You think it can happen again? I have no idea. I guess it's the same thing. Like first of all, with Filecoin, you have to think about this. It's the same thing with Illuvium, which is what was the market cap for Filecoin back then, and what was the circulating supply versus the total supply. The thing is about these projects, and I'm going to use Illuvium as an example, is that there wasn't much of a circulating supply in the beginning. That's why I went to like over $1,000 per token for Illuvium. And the funny thing is that Illuvium had real no utility at that point. It was just for the DAO, just so you could vote. So it was a great narrative, Web3 gaming. They had a lot of good people on the team. Still got good people on the team. But they didn't have a working product yet, the token, which was like the top 20. And it was like $1,000 per token. Then the unlocks came, the circulating supply actually increased. And then, of course, the price actually dropped because you have more circulating supply as far as like versus the total supply. So for this one, for Filecoin, I'm not for sure if that's what it was. But remember, narratives move this market on a lot of the altcoins. You're going to hear a lot of narratives come and go. You're going to hear a lot about AI. You're going to hear a lot about DePIN. And a lot of those projects are worthless. And they're going to say they can do things, but they're not going to be able to. I'm not saying all of them. I'm saying most of them. And it's not any fault of, well, actually, it is a fault of their own. It's the fact just of how business works. You can't have everybody succeed in business. Small businesses over 5 years, you have over 50% reduction or failure rate. So why do you think that a crypto project would be any better? Just saying. So as far as Filecoin, to answer your question, not 100% for sure, but there was a great narrative as far as storage. Filecoin hit that. We'll see if it actually can keep up. I don't understand why people don't get it. To take profits, A, DC, B, take profits. C, don't be emotional. D, be greedy when others are fearful. And fear when others are greedy is that simple. It is simple, Ace, but it's tough. Even I have this problem. Like, I tell you guys to take profits. We talk about this many a times. But even when I'm looking at it, I'm like, it could go low. It could go higher. If it just did a 2x, why the hell couldn't I do a 4x? If it did a 4x, why couldn't I do a 100x or something? It's tough because you always get greedy. That's the problem. But, you know, I took profits in March and May, and on my X account, we talk about it all the time. And I get, you know, you get some ridiculement being in the public eye, but that's why that was my decision. So when I do that, you know, you're like, you're a moron, it's going to keep going up. All right, well, I needed it for, you know, some other assets. Now here we are. So it's tough to do it even for me, but that's why, like, I'm always harping on it and I'm always talking about it, because damn it, if we don't think about it now, when we don't have a plan of action, we're going to fail when we get to that point where we're like, you know what? All these indicators are bing, 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 bing. I got to really get out. That's it. That's good, man. Ooh, 13 Bravo. All right. I was what was called a 91 Bravo. Then it became a 91 Charlie. Then it became a 91 M6. I don't know what the hell it's called now. Hypercycle update would be awesome. It would be awesome. I got to get Jerry on. But I'll talk to Jerry. Jerry's the head of marketing over at Hypercycle now. And I'll get him on the show when I get back to wherever I'm going. Jorge says, hey, Rob, do you know if World Mobile Token is still issuing the ENFT? I believe so. I think you can still become an Earth node operator. I'm pretty sure, but it's pricey as hell. Like, I became an Earth node operator like a year and a half ago or something. That's when it was like very first came out. Now it's just expensive, but who knows what it's going to be in like 10 years. I have no idea. So to answer your question, I'm not 100% sure. Follow them at World Mobile Token or talk to also AD Ape. Will be the guy to go. Let's see. Seth says it was manipulated below the moving average, so all the noobs would think the bull market is over. I guess so. It could be that. You know, it's a funny thing. Everything's manipulated until the price goes up. Then it's fundamentals. Let's see. And Traveling said none of the normal top indicators have hit so far, so it's still room to come. Yeah, I just don't... like I've always said, there's a lot of uncertainty, and we're not going to get too much certainty until after this U.S. presidential election in November. So I expect sideways or some pretty big drops, especially if we start seeing, like, if we start hearing about the same stories, which is going to be Mt. Gox, let's be honest, it's going to happen. When just minute amount of people start to sell, then everybody's like, ah, or people are like, ah, I'm out of here. I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, that would never happen to me. Yeah, but let's say you have negative news on Mt. Gox selling, right? Then let's say some other kind of like geopolitical issue comes up, some new war pops up or something like that. I'm not saying it's going to happen, I'm just saying. Then let's say we get some negative economic indicators that come out of the United States. Oh, now we're talking. Now let's say we've got some big, huge scandal in crypto and there's a big, huge rug pull or something happens and something collapses. Okay, now you take all those factors together and tell me that the price is going to drop. Nobody knows. That's just it. That's why, like, I always think like DCA is a superpower. Just sit back and wait until the damn indicators hit, and then you do what you got to do. Ben Spider says, we'll know in 18 months whether this was top or not. Exactly. Exactly. Who knows? Free SBF. Accelerate profits, and nobody is chanting that. But that was funny. Hello? Happy Saturday. Thank you. FD White is here. Also a guy to check out his channel. Bull market was VC led. Exactly. I think we got, me and FD White on the same page. I think we got screwed out of a proper bull run in 2021 because of the FTX, the Voyager, the Celsius, the BlockFi, the 3 Arrows Capital. And of course, it never helped that Sam Bankman-Fried, not these days. It never helps that SBF orchestrated the whole Luna collapse. Do your own research, I'm just telling you. And because of that, it screwed up the whole thing because of his maniacal ways of having to be on top. FD White is correct. Let's see. What do you think about Jasmine? I don't have it, but I'm sure it'll do great in the bull market. Just I've got like 80 different altcoins, so there's only so much I can do. Vatican says Render will lead AI crypto. I happen to agree. Render does pretty good stuff. I thought there was going to be an announcement of a partnership with Apple. That never materialized. David Gamble, throw a ball at the green screen to prove it's not a pool. It's not a pool. This is all a green screen. Look, see my hands? It's fake. All this is fake. All this is fake. Fake. Yeah, let's see. Anyhow, ETF was basically a false start. Just wait, stop panicking. All right. Sound advice. New Type says, Rob, a lot of people have started debunking the myths on market cap circling supply. You had it all wrong. It's all about volume for price discovery. That may be true, but I will direct you to the thing that we were actually talking about today, which was the multiplier effect, which is this. If we're talking about trading volume itself, right? And you see right here where it says bots, bot trading. Like, it's the same thing with NFTs. You can see a ton of volume on NFTs, but just bouncing back and forth. So I don't know if I can buy that because of the volume, especially with these centralized exchanges that want to look like they have massive amount of volume and they're bouncing and pinging things back and forth. There's this website. I think it's called NFT Slam. Yeah. Yeah, and they do. Yeah, this is the thing. So, like, for example, blockchains by NFT sales volume, they have the actual sales and then the amount of wash sales, which is just people banging back and forth, right? But it's all volume, correct? So, but the wash then is 8%. I like this one because you can see, like, and then this is why I think ordinals are going to do well. It's like, look at Bitcoin for the ordinals. The wash is 0. It's the lowest. Except for Mythos. I don't know what the hell it is. And so on and so forth. Solana's at 5 points. That's pretty good. So, I mean, maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. I don't know. Good afternoon, Chris. Redman says, should we look at past cycles to determine proper sell point? Look at as much data as you possibly can. Because fractals are, I used to use fractals a lot, and I actually based that on my last selling points for the bull cycle. And actually, you can find that. There's a link in the description. I'll show you, actually. Yeah, look at that. So it's just called all exits. And what I did, I don't know if you can see this, but I just used fractals from 2017 and percentages and just to see like where I thought Ethereum would go, and Chainlink and Cardano and Bitcoin. And I was wrong. And I said, okay, I think Ethereum will go to 10,000. That wasn't even remotely true. I think we hit 4,900 or somewhere around there. So the selling point of 2,000, I got to sell 20% of my Ethereum. That was it. Which isn't bad looking at it now. Now it's like 3,000. I think it will go to above 5. Who knows? Chainlink is a little bit better. And I said, okay, well, using fractals, I think it's going to go to $35. And it actually hit $51 on May 9th. So that one worked out pretty well. So I sold 20 at $26, 20 at 28, 20 at 30, right? But I screwed up this last one because I got greedy and I said, nah, if it went to 32, it's going to go to 62. I didn't do that. Bitcoin, totally wrong here. I thought it would go to 150. So I sold at 60, which wasn't bad, 20%, but that's why I have so much Bitcoin. Let's see. EOS was actually, EOS was pretty good. Because as bad as people talk about it, me and Beardy were like the EOS whales. I thought it would go to 30 bucks, but it actually went to 14.22. So I actually sold 4, 6, 10. I missed the 14 though. I remember that one. But I got to sell here, so it worked out okay. Cardano was my best guesswork. I thought it would go to 3 bucks, and I'll be damned if it didn't go to $3. But again, I missed the last one. So I sold 20 for 60. Sold, well, 80% of 80%. And then Theta did pretty good, actually. I thought it would go to 10 and went to 14 bucks. So yeah, fractals, it can work, but it's not perfect. So now I try to take a look at a little bit of fractals, but a lot of the indicators. And if you're looking for like, well, how do I know? There's a link in the description where I talk about all the indicators I'm using. It's called I'm selling, why, and when. And then also, if you're looking for like the more risky aspects, I call it the half and half method, stress-free profits. But that's different. There's two different ways I do things. One is for like the blue chip stuff, and the other one is for like the trash, the gamblers. So watch those videos, links in the description. Yeah. RS is looking forward to minutes. Me too. I'm looking forward to minutes. If you believe World Mobile Token is going to do well, like I do, and Jessica from Coin Bureau and Guy from Coin Bureau just did a video on Coin Bureau Club months ago about how it was like, for a risk to reward ratio, one of the best they've seen. They're partnering up with World Mobile Token. Minutes is, and there's a video I did on Dan Degen. If you search Dan Degen minutes, you'll know why I'm so enthused about that one. It actually has a working model right now, and they're actually generating revenue, which is crazy for very few crypto products actually do that. They actually generated revenue before they got into crypto. Crazy, right? Let's see. Roadless says, Ton is holding relatively strong against most of the season alts, and the mini apps fever on boarding millions of users using GameFi with 300. Yeah, this was a very, very well thought out post, I must admit. Yeah, Ton's doing great. I'm glad I'm buying it. And Patrick says, how about hitting the like? That'd be nice. It is free. Chris says, hey, Robbie, you still touching the hamster? What's your hourly income? I'm at 1.1 million income per hour, and I'm at, not the Grandmaster. Yeah, I'm at Grandmaster now. I'm like level 9, which sounds ridiculous unless you play hamster. You know what I'm talking about. It's a disgusting, terrible addiction that people have that play that game. And I unfortunately have that. What? Tangent doesn't work in New York State? I've never heard of that. Is that? see something. It's a cold wallet. You can't you can't swap in Tangent, but I think you can store it. Yeah. I don't know, I'll have to check on that. Doesn't sound right. But okay. Alex says, Tangent should disclose that there are 3 states. It's not that you cannot use it. 3 states that you can't swap. All right. Why does New York block Tangent use? Because New York sucks. That's why. Smiley glad hands. It's pretty funny. What happened to Vechain? Nobody never hear about it anymore. I've got about 2,000 tokens. Hopefully it goes back to 10 cents, 20 cents. I don't know. I haven't heard. I still have some, matter of fact. But yeah, no one talks about it much anymore. Again, narratives, it gets pushed out. Maybe they're building in the background. You know, I still think it's in the top 100, though. Let's see. Free Gensler, is that too early? I don't think Gensler's going to jail. But if he could just get removed, I think that would be great for all of us. Me included. Uzi Matt says, Rob, you said you use Coinbase One. I think Coinbase Advanced is cheaper. I'm 99% sure you're correct, Uzi Matt. I'm 99% sure you're correct. And I need to do a video on that. Because when I was taking profits, I got slaughtered for fees. I mean, it was pretty well for the profits, but I'm like, are you serious? This is the fees that these guys are charging? No wonder their stock's doing reasonably well. God, people, stupid fees. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. JP Trez says, white swans are more powerful if this stupid Ukraine-Russia war and the Gaza issue could end. I'd like to see that too. Horrible what's going on over there. Both places. I hear the average... Well, I'm not going to talk about it. Then it spurs everybody in. But I think it's every single war that I've ever heard of, for the most part, has been worthless. Worthless wars started by politicians and governments to control people. That's how I see every war these days. Hawk 2, funny. Redman says, I'm thinking 40 weeks after the halving. Yeah, I can see that. Man Bear Cow, which is a nod to South Park. You know what else did very strong against other alts? Luna. You got a point. Yeah, I tell you, these projects, they work until they don't. Redman says, all right, I'm not going to hold for another crash. Jay says, Nick, he likes Solana. We all like Solana. I like Solana. I own Solana. It's a winner for this cycle. Get some if you don't have any. Do your own research. Maybe you find something that it's worthless or whatever else. But I think it's going to do pretty well. I got to tell you, the first time that I used Solana and we did a giveaway on the channel, and I was able to give, like, I could take somebody's address, their Phantom wallet address, and I could send them whatever I wanted to, and it would get there in like 2 seconds, 3 seconds, maybe 10 seconds, because there was maybe a delay. And they could send it in there, and I don't know where they were. They could have been in North Korea for all I know. They could have been in Iran. I have no idea. They could have been Russian. I don't know. But I send everybody, not everybody, but a bunch of people value in seconds for less than a penny. And that's when the light bulb went off. I was like, this is great. This Solana works out great. Now, coincidentally, we just did one on Toncoin. Go watch the video. I did the exact same thing. I know some people you're saying, right, but mine does it, and I can do this, and my chain does it. Gotcha. Not saying it doesn't. I'm just saying for the people that are behind it and the adoption that it has, I got to tell you, a ton in Solana is doing pretty good. Now, some people will say, well, what about, this one in number 22, this one in number 178? They'll probably do great, but risk to reward. You have to, when I look at these things, I'm like, you know what? There's a reason why I buy Bitcoin every day. It's because, yes, I could buy whatever token that you think is going to be awesome. And it probably will be. I'm not saying it's not. But the chances are decreased. So why wouldn't I just put my money into Bitcoin? I could leave it in my bank and it's not going to do anything there. So I'll just put it in there, be safe, and watch it grow. And if I have a 4-year time horizon at minimum, I should be okay. And then I go down that list and go, okay, well, Ethereum, Cardano, Toncoin, so on and so forth. Yeah. I will not. I will hold until morale improves. Solid technique. Thank you. California did what? I just heard on Valuetainment, Patrick Bet David. He was talking about one of the large insurance companies they're pulling out of California. Allstate. They're pulling out of California for homeowners insurance because the amount of inflation is so high and the environmental impact. Something. It's like, if you take a look at like the amount that they actually have to pay, it's like 31% because of inflation for cement and woodwork and everything they have to do with houses. And because of mismanagement by, they're saying, Gavin Newsom, that they're pulling out. It's crazy. And I just saw I was walking the dog and I was listening to the podcast, so don't quote me. Go check out Valuetainment. Soul price is better. Joel says VPN, which if you're so inclined to do that and use that, you might be able to do some swaps. Or you can do what Chris says, GTFO, whatever that means, of New York. Damn it, Chris says I'm 2.76 million. Wow. What are you hoping for a ton? 50, 100 bucks? I'm not hoping for anything. I'm just hoping that whatever the price is, when everything goes parabolic, it's more than my cost basis of what I'm paying for it now. That's it. It's funny. It's so sad Robert De Niro can't use Tianjin to hold his COQINU. Interesting. Let's see. Vechain held up well on the fourth slide. True. Now I'm curious. Damn it, this is the second one. Does anybody hold Vechain? Don't be shy. You can tell me. Vechain is still, I was way off. It's number 47. All right, 2.6% for the day. Looking good. All right. In 1 year, it's up 31%. Well, it's better than XRP. Watch out. So that's pretty good. Let's see. But let's see where it's at. Well, it did peak in 2021. But that's not surprising. 26 cents. 26 cents. Now it's 3 cents. 2 cents. Yeah. When in doubt, zoom out. Just not for VeChain. Now it'll probably do well. Who knows? Let's see. What about... That doesn't do it. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look at Bitcoin for max. That's still pretty good. Look at that. It's a beautiful chart. And of course, you know, Peter Schiff will come out and say, I told you Bitcoin was a scam. I told you it was a scam down here when it's 600 bucks. I told you it was a scam at 3,000. I told you it was a scam at 18,000. I told you it was a scam at 28,000, 67,000, 69,000, and now it's 62. I told you guys for the last 10 years it's a scam. You got us, Peter. You and that's funny. Peter Zion and Schiff, geniuses. Well. Crypto golfer late? No, you just came. We're just starting up. No, man, it's okay. And I got to walk the dog. It's all right. War never changes. Wars are done on a handshake between us and the industrial military complex. That's true. America, because why not? Tesla, yes. Des is here. What are some alts on Sol that are worth looking into? I defer to Jessica from Coin Bureau. We were talking about this on the NFA Live, and she talked about two. Hive Mapper and Helium, which I didn't really know. If you take a look at Hive Mapper, there's a chart. Hive Mapper is essentially Google Maps, and you can get paid to map your area. And let's see. I didn't think it was doing that well. If you go to hivemapper.com, network coverage, you can see that it's mapped a large amount of the US, Spain, France, Germany, not too much in Africa. For some reason, nothing in Russia. That's crazy. But let's see. There was one. Oh yeah, look at that. It's done a 23% of the globe. It's pretty good. So yeah, and then also on Helium, they actually have a working product. This is what I'm looking for. Yeah. Get your phone plan. This is it. So you can bring your number over. You can earn mobile token. You get unlimited data, 5G network. Bring your own phone. Oh, okay. But and it's $20 a month. Look at that. Crazy. I know. So there's two products that are actually doing something. And that's about it. I mean, there's other things out there, but Bonk is meme coin. Sorry. But some people just love Bonk. Patrick says, stop whining. It's a corrective phase in a bull market. Happens every time in a bull market. Stop making people crazy. Yeah, man, you got to cover all the bases because, some people say, what about this? What about that? You do your best. What can you do? Gas fees. San Francisco. What's your opinion on ICP? The texting legit does, just price action isn't. I mean, that's great when you have like a great product, but I'm an investor. I think we're all investors. We'd like to be rewarded for that. And the question is, how long can you hold on to it? I don't know. No VeChain. What? They're at 1,000 vet. Wow. Yeah. Matic is out of the top 20. Didn't have that on my bigger card. See, it's a funny thing because you'll look at some of these projects and you're like, well, they do great stuff. We have ZK rollups, and some people say it's a side chain, but with ZK rollups, it actually becomes like an L2. And you look at that, you're like, well, that's what Ethereum needs, and it's done a lot of things and it's worked with a lot of partnerships, but yet price action doesn't appreciate and actually goes down. So you have to ask yourself, what's happening here? And that's why you can have the best project, the best product, and everything else, but it's just something just goes out. It's just one part that fails. Prime example. I know people hate when I say this, but it's true. Voyager was a good product. Voyager, the centralized exchange, was simple, easy to use, the best user interface I've ever had, and the fees were super low. And what it did, it was like the hotels.com of crypto. It would take all the different centralized exchanges within its umbrella, depending on where you were at, if you're Europe or actually USA was most of it. I don't think they actually branched in Europe. Anyhow. And it worked out great because you didn't know who they were getting the crypto from, but they shared the difference of the price depreciation or the fees. And you got a product, it went there and it was good. The problem is is when this one aspect of it, when they tried to chase down Celsius, because they're like, we want to give yield to people, and Celsius is they're kicking our A, so we have to make up for this in some way. Let's bring on Three Arrows Capital and bring them into the fold so we can offer yield that people just keep their crypto on it. All they had to do was keep on with that same model, would have worked. But they screwed up. They got Three Arrows Capital, $640 million, uncollateralized, bonehead. And it collapsed because I don't know why Three Arrows Capital, those two jokers are still out. And that's it. So, I mean, you have a great product and they screw everything up on one decision. Which gets back to any kind of project in crypto that you could, or any business. You never know. Andrew says, hey, Rob, you still doing meetups in San Juan? Yeah, we just did one Thursday. And I'll let you know when the next one is. Usually I announce that on X. Oh, yeah. Give yourself a raise. Says, Rob, I had a Hive Mapper fleet of 13 cams. I know those weren't cheap. It was killing it for a while. Then they slash rewards, though. Yeah, maybe once proper bull market comes in and more price appreciation happens, it'll work. Yeah, I need to get Rob into golf. I need to get into golf more. Russians use VPN. Pauses here. What's your thought on Caspa? I own some. Hopefully it does well. Brainbox says, see y'all suddenly fade Bitcoin runes already? I think it'll do just fine. Oh, you're fine. And where else? What are your top AI GPUs? Aether is mine because I heavily invested into it early, so I want that to succeed, Andrew. But I did a whole video on it a couple months ago over on Dan Degen. Check that one out. And I compare Aether to IONET and Render and a couple of new ones. And what I said in there was essentially the same thing. There's going to be so much demand for compute, for artificial intelligence. There is room for everybody in here. There's room for Render. There's room for IO. There's room for Arweave and Aether. There's room for everybody. It just which one's going to appreciate, massively versus hugely. I don't know. And that's why I like that sector. I love Voyager too. It was great. Break two. What? Oh. Roy Jones. Did the hurricane affect your area? Hurricane Beryl? No. But it's a category 5, the earliest one in recorded history. It hit Jamaica. I think only 3 people perished, which was pretty amazing. And it's going through the tip of Mexico and the peninsula. And then it's going to hit up in Houston area. But right now, I think it's a category 1. So it missed. People don't understand. Puerto Rico is a very tiny place. Cuba's much bigger. And it just usually blows right through us. All right. Serge says, honestly, if Binance US ever figures out their banking situation, I think that'll be a good exchange. I got to agree. And as a reminder, a couple days ago was the full month that CZ served his prison sentence. So he's only got 3 more to go. That guy took one for the team, huh? Their fees are pretty low and easy to use, but they're lost of their coin support for newer stuff. Yeah, that's true. True. Con Jan says, Bollinger Band suggests we will visit 40K for Bitcoin would be ideal. Any thoughts? I hope you're right. Because the thing is, like with the dollar cost averaging, some people will say, well, you should really just lump sum, as fast as you possibly can. And that's true for the most part. I mean, you could lump sum, but as time goes on, like how much money do we have? We put in a lot, and let's be honest, some of us put in a little bit more than we should have. And now we're here and we're like, wow, I'd like to put more in this dip, but I have no dip money. And that's what's great about as time progresses and it starts to go even lower. You're like, phew, thank God. Just got paid from my, work at Walmart. Now I can afford some tomato coin, whatever. So yeah, I mean, I hope you're right, Con. I really do. Let's see. Thank you. Coin Bureau team does a much more thorough job than I do, but thank you. A little Akash and Nas also, sure. Oh yeah, that's right. FTX distribution means Bitcoin and Sol rally probably won't last. Yeah. So again, could be good. I wouldn't call it amazing. Not great. Yeah. That's it. I got hungry. Damn it. This thing keeps coming up. Thoughts on Tokenomics, and would you invest in a project with only 10% of its max token circuit? That's not true. This always comes up, and I think it's because of me. So like in December or so, me and Guy and Ben were talking on the NFA live show, and he was talking about Tokenomics. I'm like, I don't like that because it's, you know, the circulating supply. I mean, it's held by a bunch of whales. I will never get into that because that's just a recipe for disaster. And it's true. But then, as I was doing my deep dive video from Tokenomics, I realized this, that I was totally incorrect. So if you go to into the block, you can see a distribution between whales, investors, and retail. You want it skewed evenly, or you want it skewed more towards retail to have a better appreciation of what can dump and what can't dump, can and can't. And Bitcoin is the gold star. 88% is in retail, 1% is in whales, 11% in inventory, or investors, and that could be centralized exchanges. And we take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum has 49% in retail and 41% in whales, and investors 10%. That's not the greatest, but yet we still buy that like crazy. And then Doge and Cardano is really good. But then Tokenomics, the whales are 29%, investors 30%, and retail is 41%. So what the hell happened? What happened was I was wrong. And over time, see this green part here? It actually gives way to the blue, which would be investors, and then to the yellow-orange, I guess, which will be retail. And over 30 days, it's been a net inflow of 15%. So Tokenomics is doing things like they should, and I know why they did it. It's because if you watch that interview between Pavel, the CEO or the founder, and Tucker Carlson, they say, look, we got sued by the SEC. We had to pull all our tokens back and give back all the money that we raised for the ICO. And now we let the Ton Foundation, the open network, essentially make our token. So we're hands off, we're decentralized, and unfortunately we had to make it a proof of work in the beginning. They mined it, and now it's getting distributed to other people. And what's amazing to me is that they did that and the price didn't drop magnificently like most projects do. So I've talked about this. This is like my third day straight talking about this, but it's my fault because I was incorrect. So watch that deep dive video. Whew, a lot of stuff. Let's see. I want to be able to at least afford a flight to one of Rob's peer meetups. Get them early. You can come in the off season, which is like right now. Saying I was wrong comes easy for Rob. I appreciate that. It's very simple. I'm wrong a lot. Hey, man. Good to see you. We missed you at the meetups. Don't encourage him. Yeah. Jewelry says, I was hoping we could have a massive altcoin season. You know, it's a funny thing. Every time people say, we'll never get the altcoin season's done, we're never going to have it. That's when it actually happens. That's the funny part. But who knows? Ooh. When will Bitcoin begin its rebound Q4? Yeah, we'll rebound. We'll go up and down, I think, this summer. But again, I don't think anything happens until after the presidential election. That's it. Look, everybody, that's it for today. We went over an hour yet again, so a little bit long, but that's it for today. So look, like today's video, on your way out, thumbs up, subscribe. Also, again, if you would be so kind, check out my friend Crypto Moses on his channel. Links in the description. And go from there. But that's it for today. Thanks so much, everybody. I appreciate you, and I'll see you on the next one. Adios.